I like taking my hair out like this. It reminds me like when I was 16 in the Bronx, running up and down the block. That crazy little girl who used to be wild and no limits, all dreams.
Guys, they just released the entire list of everybody that's partied with P. Diddy and did God knows what. And the list is long, I'm telling you, it is extremely long.
The deafening silence in the entertainment industry has finally been broken since Diddy was arrested. Following the latest bombshell from Diddy's ongoing trial, Hollywood is in complete disarray. According to multiple media outlets, Diddy has already ratted out some celebrities in exchange for a lighter sentence and a child. Some of the names on the infamous Diddy list are alleged to be among these new developments. Stoked speculation that Jay-Z and Beyoncé had purposefully kept quiet about the Diddy scandal because they were caught in the crossfire. It has been claimed that the Carters had been using some extremely potent backstage maneuvers to shield themselves from this mess and allow Diddy to take the fall along with everyone else. Jennifer Lopez has also been caught in the crossfire of this historic trial. J.Lo has managed to avoid this once-in-a-generation scandal for as long as possible, but now that the freaky list has been released, she has been fully dragged into it. Miss Girl is nowhere to be found. It's as if she has vanished from the face of the planet, and she has restricted the comment sections of her Instagram. In fact, J.Lo has good reason to be afraid because of her. J.Lo is probably sitting on some big tea because of their lengthy history together, which dates back more than 20 years to when they were the sexiest celebrity couple and when Diddy first started having freak-out episodes. According to multiple people close to J.Lo, she is upset that her name is being reintroduced into the unfavorable narrative she believed she had abandoned. It appears that Joe was unaware of this. J.Lo was involved in the 1999 incident when she and Diddy were together and went to a nightclub called Hot Chocolate at Towns Club, New York in December 1999 to celebrate the release of Shine's soon-to-be-released album. According to reports, it reached around 220 am. When Diddy unintentionally knocked a drink out of a patron's hand, Matthew Allen, whose street name is Scar, confronted him about it. As a result, the Eagles were hurt and fired, and Natania Ruin, who was caught in the fire, confirmed that J.Lo had smuggled the Bang Bang into the club and that she was the one who handed it to him. Diddy before they fled immediately after the incident. J.Lo and Diddy drove off in a 1999 Lincoln Navigator, but they ran a red light and were stopped by the police. According to police reports, they had a stolen 9mm in their trunk and were both arrested. However, J.Lo's ordeal didn't end there, as they spent the next 14 hours in a cell with the police. She reportedly cried in fits. Unfortunately, Shine was the fall guy for the incident because J.Lo lied to the jury about what happened and protected Diddy guys. This is what they are going to get J.Lo for. And the bad news for J.Lo is that people like Shine and Natania are willing to work with the feds. Sobbing uncontrollably and incoherently, both Diddy and J.Lo eventually left. Natana even claimed to be willing to have the pieces removed from her face for ballistics evidence because she is glad that the case has been reopened. For example, she is willing to have a doctor remove a piece of her face so that it can be used as evidence in court if necessary, even if it means losing her life. You see, Natania claims that when the incident occurred, people believed Diddy more than she did, but at the time, she was unable to do anything because, first of all, Diddy was obviously more powerful than she was, and second, she was a mother whose main concern was getting to her child safely. However, she now feels that justice must be done at last and that J.Lo must be held accountable for her involvement and for lying before a jury.
Irony is, there was a grand jury. We all had to go and speak at the grand jury. J.Lo testified at the grand jury, as did many other people. It needs to be reopened because if that is in fact the case, she carried the in and she lied to the grand jury.
But J.Lo isn't the only one. In an effort to shield themselves from the possible dangers of this turmoil, Beyoncé and Jay-Z are also rushing to make their identities known after it was revealed that the Carters are supposedly conspiring against Diddy. Even Ashton Kutcher, who was previously Diddy's close friend, is considering moving to Europe with his family in order to avoid the controversy. In another statement, Ashton Kutcher's public relations staff said that Ashton regrets his association with Diddy and feels deceived by him. Controlled, betrayed, and taken for granted, the source added that Ashton would be completely supportive if approached because he has nothing to conceal. Additionally, Meek Mill, who is presently in Africa, has stated that he is willing to pay $100,000 to remove his name from Diddy's trash, but celebrities like Denzel Washington aren't done yet. LeBron James and Lori Harvey, among the prominent figures allegedly on the list, are Stevie J and Young Miami.
Size is demons.
Okay,
He
look.
would check into a hotel and he would work it out for a week or two.
Okay. So, no disrespect to family. We'll talk about it on Jack Right Uncensored. How about that?
What do you mean, no disrespect to family?
Because I got questions.
No, because the Mondrian came to me and asked me if I wanted to move my hotel room. And they were going to give me a suite that was $2,000 more than the suite I was already paying for. And I thought it was a scam. And they said, Mr. Washington is booking out the floor. Your room is the only room left, ma'am. We will give you one of the top suites and you move into there for no extra charge. I didn't believe.
The news that Diddy has written a comprehensive list of all the people who have been involved with him in one way or another has sent Hollywood into a frenzy, with every celebrity doing everything in their power to avoid being named in this ongoing trial. It's safe to say that if you've gotten into trouble with Diddy, you should get legal help soon because the hurricane is coming and you don't want to be swallowed. The most shocking of these recent developments is the ongoing trial in which someone is suing Diddy every day. 120 people, including a 9-year-old, filed a civil suit against Diddy. If you're wondering how they got there, a hotline was established for Diddy's alleged victims, and you won't believe that 3,000 people had already filed a complaint in just 10 days. After evaluating each complaint, the lawyers selected 12 to 20 people who had a compelling case. In the civil action, the attorney for the 120 victims said that half of the plaintiffs are men, and some of them have been victims of daddies and their accomplices. Torture around the age of 14 or 15, the attorney adding that the majority of the victims were reportedly used in parties and auditions that Diddy organized throughout New York, Los Angeles, and Florida. Lawyers claim that over half of the victims reported incidents to the police or hospitals where they were examined, where they discovered drugs like ketamine in some of the victims' systems. The more you consider this, the more bizarre it becomes. Additionally, there have been new reports that the baby oil used during these GHB, popularly known as the drug because it causes you to lose control of your senses, was actually used to lace the parties. The lead attorney, Tony Busby, stated that numerous well-known celebrities have already contacted him in an attempt to reach a behind-the-scenes settlement with victims in order to distance themselves from the lawsuit they filed against Diddy. This is the most messy and unsurprising update that the lawyer representing the 120 victims against Diddy just revealed, and it is likely to shock you. In an interview, he has found solutions for some of the victims he represents, stating that in every case, particularly this one, we completely understand that it is in the best interests of the victims to try to resolve these matters without bringing a public lawsuit. We'd have been able to reach a settlement with a few people, many of whom you may have heard of before. The fact that these well-known people are contacting the victims to settle out of court just goes to show how disgusting and vile those parties are. Since Justin Bieber and Usher were still in their teens when they were brought to the notorious Puffy flavor, many people were curious about what must have occurred to them in light of these recent charges. You guys recall the interview with Howard Stern in which Usher talked about his experiences living with Diddy.
To New York City. And I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you
New
over
York
to
City.
something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's what it
Camp.
was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgies.
Be aware that Usher was only 14 years old when he was transferred to Diddy to learn the so-called superstar lifestyle, and the pop artist acknowledged that he saw numerous things that Howard asked him if he would send his child to a Puffy camp, which at the moment baffled him because he couldn't understand what he was looking at. Usher capitalized his response. N.O.
Ever send your kid to Puffy camp?
Hell no.
The profile of those who will be dragged into this mess will shock the world, according to multiple media sources close to the trial, who have just revealed that things are about to get much hotter and that soon, Diddy won't be the only one in the hot seat. What's even more bizarre is that they aren't being accused of simply attending the freak-offs. Rather, they are alleged to be active participants and enablers of Diddy's criminal enterprise, if the rumors are to be believed. Indeed, it won't be long before these well-known individuals are charged and made public. We are approaching the most intriguing phase of this well-known trial, and there's no doubt that new information will start to surface in large quantities. You don't want to miss this new information, and the best place to find it is on our channel. So please like and subscribe if you don't want to miss it.